Welcome to the Political Oracle, a segment of the Talk Chat podcast. My name is Pendo Setim. John F. Kennedy, the 35th President of the United States, said that leadership and learning are indispensable to each other. Today I'm joined by Dr. Michael Ndonye. Karibu sana daktari.
Asante.
Yeah, and today we are talking about matters presidential advisors. And there's this lawyer by the name Vincent Lempa. Vincent Lempa filed a petition seeking to reduce the significant number of presidential advisors.
Yes.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, I saw that. I think it's a conversation that is coming at the right time. At the right time because this country is struggling with the issue of recurrent expenditures, especially by the state offices.
Okay.
And people in those state offices, people in state house, people in government departments. For some time now, we have had this discussion that our recurrent expenditure is way too high, that we are left with nothing to invest as a country, or to do development which can make our future sustainable and the future of our generations sustainable. So the issue of government advisors, I think it is something that has not started now, and we need that conversation in the nation, and that is why I think it is something that it is worthy us discussing.
Okay.
Yes.
And what are the roles of presidential advisors?
I think it is important to note that our president is a human being like any other Kenyan. However, he carries a lot of responsibilities on his shoulders.
Okay.
He carries the responsibility of over 40 million Kenyans. They are looking upon him to make decisions that affect this nation. And he cannot be an expert in all the areas. He cannot be an expert in, for example, in economy, in economics, in law, in diplomacy, in security, in healthcare, and other countless areas. Therefore, he needs some advisors, he needs some people who are experts in these areas to give him or to guide him strategically so that we are able to achieve development and the goals of the government. So that is one. He needs advisors.
Okay.
There is no way he can preside over this country without the help of others. No single person can do that. Across democracies, across the world, all the presidents, including the presidents of the United States, which is a superpower, they have advisors, people who advise them, people who advise the president, because in most cases, the president is elected by the people through a popular vote. It is not necessarily that he is an expert. And that is why he needs them to do that. Advisors, of course, provide specialized knowledge. Sometimes they provide analysis. Sometimes they also provide perspectives that help shape the opinion, shape the communication from the president. So that when he is communicating to the nation, because the nation listens to him, not only here in Kenya, but also other nations which have interest in this country. They listen to the president. And whatever he speaks is law. Whatever he speaks is taken seriously. Okay. Therefore, he must speak something out of information. So he must make informed decisions. Of course, they also challenge the assumptions of the president. So these advisors challenge the assumptions of the president. So when he has something to say, he consults them and asks them whether this is good. And therefore, they are able to help him make strategic decisions that affect the nation. And of course, as I have stated, history is full of advisors who have advised the governments in different civilizations. And the governments have been able to make decisions that saves not only life, but also saves economies.
Okay.
So what we call special advisors to the presidency are very important and very critical to any governance of any nation.
Okay.
Yes.
And Vincent argues that the president has a lot of advisors.
Yes.
It has increased from 7 to 17 in a span of 10 months.
Yes.
And he argues that the budget for paying these advisors is costing the taxpayer a lot of money.
A lot of money,
Yeah, that is why he's filing this petition.
Yeah.
And do you think he's right to do that?
Yes, of course. Against the backdrop of what I have said, that they are important. Yes, they are important. That means we need them.
Okay.
Yes, we need them. But the question would be, can we afford them?
Yeah.
In fact, at any macroeconomic level, if we come back to microeconomic level, even to the household, because a nation is a microcosm of a household, do we have things because we want them, or we have things because we need them? Do we need all these advisors? And if that is the question we should be asking, how many should we have? I remember in around May 2024, the CS for Treasury, who was Honorable Bandi, was tried to issue a statement where he defended the president, and he was saying special advisors who were actually they were seen to be over 15 then. Special advisors are very critical for the president to run this country. And he said there is no limitation as to how many number of special advisors a president should have. Okay, if we take his statement to be right, then we go to the next level and ask him, do we have resources to sustain all of them? Or, in a layman's language, can we then afford as many as the president can have if the number is infinite? The answer is no. Resources are always limited. We may have unlimited words, but the resources are limited. And I think that is why Lawyer Lempa is raising the critical question. Can this money which is being paid to these many people be directed or be redirected to more urgent issues? Because this country has more urgent issues than using all our money on recurrent expenditure and consumption. And I think that is why his petition is justified. And it has not started now. During the time of Uhuru Kenyatta, we said to have up to around 21 of them, or 20 of them, or 21, that's the average number. We were still crying and we were still having issues with the number of advisors within the government, not within the government, but within the presidency. Remember, this 21 we are talking about, if that is the correct number with for President Ruto. Remember, we also have almost a close number for the deputy president. We also have similar special advisors to the cabinet secretaries. And if that goes like that, it means we have a lot of people in this country who are employed that they are being paid by the government, but they are not critical to the key functions of the government. Okay. And that means it bloats our recurrent expenditure, which we should try to tame. Remember, in the same year, July 2024, the president issued a statement and commitment to reduce the number of special advisors in the government by 50%. I don't know whether that happened. And if it happened, why is it being seen that in his office, instead of reducing, they are increasing. I think it's a commitment that he need to make. So Lempa is justified, and we need to have that conversation. And the president needs to come back to the nation and tell us whether what he committed to he is fulfilling, and why does he need all these advisors. Okay, to put that in perspective, remember, we are talking about 20 or over 20 special advisors.
Yeah.
Within those are the offices which are outside the confines of the offices created by the Constitution. In the Constitution, the Committee of Experts in 2010, they contemplated critical offices from which the president should seek advice. And this, of course, they include the cabinet secretaries. They are there to advise the president. And we have cabinet secretaries on critical sectors in this country. We have the Attorney General who advises the president on matters, legal decisions that the president makes on behalf of the government. We have the principal secretaries, very many of them. Actually, every cabinet secretary has more than 2 principal secretaries. Those principal secretaries are recruited on the basis of they are experts in their specific areas. In fact, they are so critical, they are more critical because they are recruited on the basis of their education, specialization, and expertise. Unlike the cabinet secretaries, who are political appointees. So they advise the cabinet secretaries, they advise the president. We also have other people that the president can interact with in terms of seeking wisdom. They are not officially advisors, but the president can interact with. For example, the Speaker of the National Assembly, the Speaker of the Senate, the Chief Justice, and very many others, actually, just to mention a few. So the president has no lack of advisors such that he needs to have the so-called special advisors, and to an extent of having more than 20.
Yeah.
What are they working for? Are they not duplicating the works of the principal secretaries? Are they not duplicating the work which is supposed to be done, for example, by the cabinet secretaries? For example, if he has a special legal advisor, so what is the work of the Attorney General?
It's just duplicating the same role.
Yeah, because that is what we should ask, and he should. I think the State House should tell Kenyans, why do we need all these advisors? If it is a matter of specialization, I think to reduce the debt, the recurrent expenditure in this country, which we are funding through debt, and which is another tragedy, because why should we, and this is a question that we have been asking since the new constitution was promulgated. It is no longer new, the 2010 constitution. Why is it that our recurrent expenditure is more than our infrastructural expenditure? Recurrent expenditure is consumption. Infrastructural expenditure is an investment. This country should be doing more, putting more money in investment more than consumption. And any economist will tell you that would be the best decision. And the reason why we are also now going back to tax people more and to depend on taxation for revenue generation. It is the biggest. That's the same reason why we are seeing, even in the future, our future is bleak. We are likely to have a generation that will have to carry a big burden for the consumption that we are having today. And that is why if the president is so keen to make sure he reduces the current expenditure, he should not be seen hiring or duplicating duties of some government officials some of whom the offices are there. They have occupants, they have people, they are working. The question is, what are they doing in the office?
Okay.
By the time you are taking a special advisor. Yes.
And the way you've mentioned that some of these positions are duplicated, some of the advisors, for example, Harriet Chigai, who is the women rights advisor. You also have Monica Juma, who is the national security advisor. And if you see those departments, they already have cabinet ministries.
Yeah. And some people, Monica Juma was a CS in the former government. So that's a political appointment. Yes.
And also
she could be an expert on legal matters. But I think she's just there because it's a political appointment.
Yeah.
It's not because we have a CS, as you have said. We have CS. And of course, I don't want to contradict myself, the CSs are not necessarily experts. They are also political appointments.
Okay.
But the principal secretaries, the directors, because under every principal secretary, there are directors. Those are experts. What are they doing? They should relay their advice through the cabinet secretary. And I can also suspect this is one of the consequences of having cabinet secretaries who are not experts, but politicians, is also that. Because it means the president has a number of cabinet secretaries who cannot advise him.
Yeah.
They cannot make decisions. Because if you remember, during the Kibaki time, his cabinet was made of purely experts. And if these experts serve their required purpose, if they offer to president all what he requires as advisors, he do not require special advisors. And that is why, of course, we have been battling with this issue. Why are you appointing people because of politics? Why are we giving cabinet secretaries those positions simply because they are friends, simply because you want to settle some political scores? Then that is the consequences. Because they cannot give you good advice, you have to seek advice from others. But who are paying the cost? Kenyans. Kenyans are paying the cost for bad decisions from the time go, and having the wrong people from the time go. Yes.
Thank you. During President Kibaki's last regime, we saw that he only had a few number of advisors.
Yeah.
I think 3 of them. But if you compare, the Uhuru's regime began the culture of having too many advisors.
Yes.
Do you think the number of advisors matter in governance?
Okay, I don't know whether Kibaki had 3, but I know they were fewer.
Yeah.
Fewer compared to Uhuru Kenyatta and now current President William Ruto. And of course, as I stated before, one of the reasons why Kibaki had fewer special advisors is because the other advisors were qualified people. His cabinet was made up of experts, technocrats, people who knew how to govern this country in their respective ministries. The minister for, if you remember the first government, we had people like Muiraria, people like Murungaru, people like Professor George Saitoti, people who were experts, people who were, even when they were in politics, they were placed in their areas where they can make decisions and advise the president. Come the time of Uhuru Kenyatta and now William Ruto, they don't care whom they appoint as cabinet secretaries. They end up appointing people who have no know-how. They have no expertise in the positions they are appointed. They appoint them maybe because they are billionaires, like we have said. They appoint them because they are friends. They appoint them to score politically. They appoint them because they had an agreement, because these people are strong politically. At the end of it, he has a pack of someone has a pack of cabinet secretaries, but they cannot make any decisions.
Okay.
So what happens, because now the president has deficiency of advisors within the cabinet, he has to seek outsiders.
Okay.
He has to seek that advice from outside. And as I have said, that way, the Mwananchi is paying for the bad decisions that these two presidents have been making. But as long as all this group is made up of people who are appointed because of political reasons, they will never capture experts. And the president will require now to hire some more people as he keeps these ones in office. So all this thing is, first of all, out of bad decision. Kibaki did not do that. If you look at the current cabinet, for example, how many of the CSEs can really articulate their ministries? How many of them can manage? How many of them can CEO their ministries? Very few.
Okay.
Very few, because you look at them, some of them have no technical know-how of the ministries they are heading. And because of that, what are the public, the principal secretaries doing? Principal secretaries and the directors are supposed to be experts. Because of that, you realize the president has no one to run up to. Actually, he runs. It means he is more knowledgeable than his cabinet.
Okay.
Which is a big danger. Even in business, we usually say, people who know how to run business, they don't employ people who have little knowledge than them.
Okay.
Ask anyone. Ask even any billionaire, and the billionaire will tell you, I make my business because I have people who know more than me.
Okay.
Everyone in the cabinet should be more knowledgeable than the president. Immediately, the president is more knowledgeable than anyone in his cabinet is a big problem. Yes.
Okay.
And that is why he is seeking people who are knowledgeable more than him outside the cabinet.
Okay.
And he calls them
advisors.
Special advisors. Yes.
Okay. And one of the arguments that people use for justifying the number of advisors a president can have is maybe getting to have diverse perspectives on matters, maybe national matters that's going to make the governance effective. So will reducing this number to maybe a smaller group, will this affect the governance?
Of course, the same thing. The same thing we have said, because we have said if it is a matter of the many areas that the president should think through to make decisions for this country. We have how many cabinet secretaries? There are many, many cabinet secretaries. How many ministries, how many PSs do we have?
There are so many.
There are so many. And every office of the PS, okay, the principal secretary, there are people we call directors.
Okay.
Because if this is a principal secretary in the ministry, for example, take Ministry of Agriculture. There are directors in many sectors of agriculture. Those are experts. If this is the Ministry of Finance, okay, there are directors under that PS, directors, and they are experts. What are they doing? So these many areas that need to be covered by these special advisors, what are those areas? And the areas are so many. If we decided to have them, then we have no need of, we are creating a parallel constitution. Because these people are not, the offices are not contemplated in our constitution. Yeah. That's why they are called special offices. They are just there, but they are taking a lot of money for this country, from this country. And so one mistake is to appoint, the president has appointed people who are not experts in the offices which are constitutionally established.
Okay.
The Attorney General, okay, the cabinet secretaries, the principal secretaries. They are supposed to advise him.
Okay.
His deputy president is supposed to be advising him. Now, you find a situation whereby the president has special advisors. His deputy president has special advisors. So this president who is supposed to be advised by the deputy president who has special advisors. And then there are principal secretaries who have special advisors, directors who have special advisors. Who is advising who? At the end of it, we have duplication of duties. It does not make sense. And I think it is time now that the president commits to make austerity measures in our economy. He should reflect on that and see to it and ask himself, how many advisors do we need? If we need them, then create them in the Constitution so that we know whom we are paying. And to make the matters worse, I want to state it here. We have 47 other governments, each headed by a governor. Now a governor has special advisors. Deputy governor has special advisors. And all the way down, everyone has special advisors. So if special advisors are so important in the running of this country, why can't they put them in the Constitution so that we know and remove? If you have some advisors who are more useful than the cabinet, why do you have the cabinet in the first place? It means we can run this government without cabinet secretaries. Yeah, and that goes down from the cabinet secretaries to the principal secretaries down to the directors. And I think that is why sometimes you hear some people who are supposed to advise the president say they have no work. The president is not taking their advice. Take an example, the former Attorney General, J.B. Muturi, Justin Muturi, who was saying, I am advising the president is not taking my advice. Why? Kwa sababu akona mipango ya kando. Yes, that's the concept. Akona mipango ya kando. And hii mipango ya kando is eating into our economy. So why don't we then legalize this mipango ya kando so that we can predict our expenditure as a nation?
In the long run.
Yeah, in the long run. So I don't think, and I think Lempa is doing something that should spark a conversation and direction for this country. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Doctor. You are saying the less, the better.
The less, the better. And maybe to add to that as you conclude this, I wanted to give an analogy, and this one can explain the many problems that we are going through. First of all, we have said special advisors are asymptomatic. It's a symptom of an incompetent cabinet. Right?
Right.
Because it means the cabinet is not competent enough to advise the president. That is what he is telling them. And that is what he is telling Kenyans. Two, when we have all these advisors, we have a stalling nation. And that can explain the reason as to why this nation is moving so slow. So we look so confused. Is like the analogy of the committee. And this answers your question, why they should be few. You know, there is a saying that a camel is a product of a committee. This committee was appointed to make a horse, to come up with a horse. A horse is supposed to be swift, efficient, and effective. But because whoever appointed the committee told them to go and make a horse as a committee, there were many suggestions. Someone suggested, this new horse should be able to walk on rough ground without horseshoes made of iron. So they made something with padded feet. Another suggested, because of the harsh conditions of our country, this horse should have some water storage at the back. So they put humps in the new horse. Or this horse should be able to eat from top trees, should have a long neck. So they put the long neck in the in the new horse. And at the end of it, because of all these decisions, at the end of it, the horse that came out of the house, it was a very slow thing called camel. Slow. It looks ugly. It cannot compete in a race. It is panded. So someone said, oh, this horse should not make noise around. So we panned the feet. So they produce something very slow, very inefficient, and that does not work. That is what we are having today.
Okay.
You have many advisors. You produce a kind of a horse. Not a horse which is a camel. Yes, you can see it, but it is very slow. It is very inefficient and ineffective. By the time he is finishing his 5 years, the first term, which he is supposed to have gotten a horse, something to move swiftly to save this country and return the confidence of the people to the government, he will have a camel that to wake it takes time.
Okay.
Just for it to stand, it takes time. It cannot compete. It cannot move fast. It is not sustainable. And that is another reason as to why having fewer advisors makes someone make
better decisions.
Okay. The more you have more people to consult, the more it takes time, the more at the end of it you end up getting something that does not make sense. Quick decision is actually one of the virtues of an effective leader, whether in business, whether in the management of a country. Even those people who are successful in business will tell you the difference between them and other people is that they make quick decisions. Whether it is going to be risky, they learn from the risk. If it is going to be successful, they succeed. And that is why it explains the reason as to why these advisors should be few, but not a committee. Because immediately you have the committee, the reports are out, and you have nothing to show. Yes.
Thank you so much, Daktari, for your insights. I hope President Ruto is going to learn from the same. We have come to the end of the Political Oracle. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Till next time, bye-bye.